Dear friends, this is Muqtada Khan. I'm a professor at the University of Delaware, and I want to talk to you about some of the unexpected repercussions of Brexit. Even the British citizens who voted to exit Britain didn't expect the vote to be successful. They thought that those who were in favor of staying and remaining in European Union would win the referendum, and it seems so, according to most pundits and even some of the polls. But the sudden and unexpected exit of Britain from European Union has opened new opportunities actually for the global order, and it is quite possible that if Britain does exit European Union, which means it triggers the formal process and in within a year or two is out of European Union, then we may be seeing the beginning of a new world order. Uh, Professor Peter Katzenstein at Cornell University has been making an interesting argument for the past few years and saying that we do not live in an era of Western hegemony. He argues that we live in an era of Anglo-Saxon hegemony. So the world really is dominated by the United States and Britain and its other English-speaking allies such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. And therefore, we live in a world which is dominated by the English language and powers which are home to the English language. So, with the exit of Britain, the question really arises that are we seeing a decline or the beginning of the decline of the Anglo-Saxon hegemony over the world? This week, something else also interestingly happened. India made its bid to join the group called NSG, Nuclear Suppliers Group. And India's application was very strongly supported by the United States. But in spite of enjoying near complete support of the United States, India failed to join the group because it was blocked by China. And it seems that China now is also exerting a lot of influence. With China exerting more global influence, with Russia exerting more global influence, especially in the Middle East, and challenging the US and EU. In the case of Ukraine, for example, it is quite apparent that the United States is not able to exert as much influence as it did in the past. And with the exit of Britain from EU, I suspect EU will also not be that much more powerful as it was till yesterday. And therefore, the pivot to Asia, America's turn away from Europe and towards Asia, its turn away from the Atlantic to the Pacific, may eventually become a reality, and the US will focus more towards Japan, China, and India, uh, towards the Pacific side of its borders than towards Europe. So it's quite possible that we are witnessing a historic moment, and I'm not very sure that the British citizens who voted to exit European Union, and it is becoming apparent primarily because of xenophobia, fear of immigration, fear of loss of a particular kind of culture that actually doesn't exist anymore. So I think we should look forward to some changes, but not all changes are going to be positive. I do not fear that American influence and American power is going to decline. I just think that America's orientation towards the world will change. It will become more Asia oriented than Europe oriented. But it remains to see what happens of Great Britain. It is quite possible that with British exit from European Union, we may also witness the exit of Scotland and Ireland from the United Kingdom, and Britain will once again become a tiny island that it used to be long ago.